I never loved you the way I should have, she said, her voice cold and dismissive, as if it were just another truth she'd come to accept. The words hit him like a physical blow, gut-wrenching and unforgiving. How could she say this after everything they built together? The confusion swirled in his chest, followed by the sharp sting of betrayal. The world around him felt unreal. He had trusted her, loved her, and yet, here she was, laying their entire life bare with a callousness that left him frozen. How could someone who once swore eternal love tear him apart like this? They met in college, two young dreamers, laughing at the world's challenges. From there, they built a life full of memories, shared apartments, late-night talks, and the births of their two children. He gave her everything: love, support, and sacrifice. He worked long hours to ensure their future, while she focused on their growing family. They promised each other forever, and he believed it with every part of him. They were partners, soulmates. But now, in the face of her betrayal, the love he once felt seemed like a distant dream, shattered by the reality of her actions. His heart ached as he looked at the woman who had once been everything to him. Her words were like a slap in the face. I've been seeing someone else for months, and honestly, I'm happier with him. She said it so casually, as if confessing a trivial mistake. She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, eyes unwavering. There was no guilt, no remorse. She was confident, almost smug, as though she held all the power now. Her tone was icy, her expression indifferent. This wasn't an affair born of mistake or momentary weakness. She had planned this, and worse, she was proud of it. The gravity of her declaration hit him hard. She wasn't the woman he thought he knew. Something shifted in him at that moment. No more tears, no more pleading. The hurt had settled into something more solid, a quiet, unwavering strength. His heart no longer raced in panic. He had no intention of playing the victim. Instead, a plan began to form in his mind, and it was cold, calculated. He wouldn't let her tear him apart. The realization was simple. It was time to fight back, not out of rage, but out of control. He had been underestimated, but he was done being her pawn. The next step was clear. He needed a lawyer. He sat across from a sharp, experienced attorney, discussing the case, laying out his goals. The lawyer's advice was precise. Gather evidence, document everything, and build a case. Every email, text, and photo of her late-night outings would be crucial. His role was clear. He would collect every piece of the puzzle while she continued to live carelessly, believing she had won. The contrast couldn't be more apparent. While she paraded her affair with pride, he silently prepared to dismantle her world, one calculated step at a time. He invested in a GPS tracker, placed discreet cameras around the house, and synced every device to the cloud. Late nights turned into quiet surveillance. Her frequent hotel visits weren't just for business. He knew now that they were for him, her lover. Text message logs painted a clearer picture of their relationship, and every unguarded moment confirmed what he feared. She had thought he was oblivious, that he was broken and naive. But every day, as she continued her affair without a second thought, he gathered the proof he needed. He wasn't the fool she thought he was. He was her reckoning. When he handed her the divorce papers, her face drained of color. She looked at him stunned, as if she hadn't believed he would ever take such a step. The denial came first, then rage. "You can't be serious," she yelled, but he was calm. He had already made peace with this moment. She realized too late. He wasn't broken. He wasn't defeated. He had already planned every detail. This wasn't about revenge. It was about taking back control. And now, she was the one caught off guard. The fallout came fast. Her lover's wife found out, and soon, office gossip swirled through HR. She was humiliated, publicly and privately. as the affair became known to their friends and colleagues. The careful, curated image of the perfect wife and mother crumbled. Family members no longer offered their support, and old friends distanced themselves. She was isolated, abandoned by those she once held close. The life she had so meticulously built now lay in ruins, all because of her own choices. The first court hearing was a battle of wills. She entered with her usual confidence, but it faltered when his lawyer presented the overwhelming evidence. Audio recordings of her secretive conversations, photos from her hotel stays, and clear documentation of her emotional neglect painted a damning picture. The judge listened carefully, offering no sympathy to her claims of innocence. As the hearing concluded, it was clear. He had done his homework. The custody battle, which she had assumed would be in her favor, tipped in his direction. Her power was slipping away, and she knew it. This was no longer her game. She tried to negotiate, propose an amicable split, a fresh start, but he had already ensured his victory. "You signed away your rights months ago," he said, his voice steady. "Now, you'll take what's left and walk away." Her face contorted in disbelief as she realized the trap had been set long ago, and there was no way out. The deal was done. She had lost everything: her marriage, her dignity, and her control. She had no one to blame but herself. As he sat alone in the quiet aftermath, he felt an overwhelming sense of peace. The chaos had ended. There were no more games, no more lies, only clarity. His kids were safe, and his life was his own again. She had destroyed their marriage, but in the end she had only built his strength. Was this revenge justified, or did he go too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and follow for more stories of strength, survival, and justice.